Sweet. Flatline MMA podcast episode number 12. We got a special guest today. Our boy, Zach. I'm Dom. That's Kev. That's Zach. Listen, huge week coming up. But just want to do a little recap of last week's UFCDC card because it had friggin' everything happen. So just wanted to review that real quick. And then the big boy, this Saturday, UFC 245, 3 title fights. We got the gang together to talk about it. So let's get right into it, guys. Listen, you all know it by now, CBD Medic. If you guys need CBD, click the link below. Use the code FLATLINE10 for all your CBD needs. Do I got to keep saying it every week? Gronk uses it. You go use it. Stop being dumb. Go buy some. Click the link below. Perfect. So let's get right into it, boys. Quick recap of UFCDC. Guys, this card had friggin' everything. We had the return of Rob Font coming back looking great, taking on Ricky Simone, winning that decision. So he looked great. That's our hometown guy. We support him, New England Cartel. You guys are awesome. We had the younging. We had Song Yong Dong taking on Cody Stamann, fighting to a majority draw, which was crazy because Song Yong Dong had the illegal knee, which I think changed the whole fight. He was doing so well. A lot of people don't agree with that decision, that it was a draw. I know Cody Stamann's pissed. So that fight's definitely controversial there. Then we had the young Aspen lad taking on Yana Kunitskaya, right? First 2 rounds, very lackluster. Then her corner's friggin' yelling at her. She comes out in the 3rd round just screaming. She hits friggin' Yana with a left hook. She goes down. She gets the knockout. Aspen lad back on top after suffering that controversial 16-second knockout to JDR. So she's back in a big way. And then we get the big boys. We get the heavyweights. Ben Rothwell, Stefan Struve. Ben Rothwell just nut-kicking Stefan Struve. Just nut-kicking him. Not once, boys. Twice. Stefan Struve literally is in the middle of the octagon going, they're in my stomach. They're in my stomach. Friggin' Dan Mergliotta goes up to Stefan Struve, gives him his 5 minutes and goes, hey, listen, you're winning the round. I think you should just go back out there and fight. A minute and a half later, he gets KO'd. I mean, you got to feel for Stefan Struve on this one, boys. So that was tough to see. And then you got the girl fight, which I thought was a great fight. Marina Rodriguez, Cynthia Calvillo. Calvillo obviously coming in a little overweight, 4 pounds, right? Great fight. Again, another majority draw, which if you were to score this fight, I'd say Marina. So another draw. I haven't seen 2 draws on a fight card since I've been watching. So I think that's definitely significant there. And then we had the heavyweight match, which, listen, we told you guys not to blink. It went all 5 rounds. 4 seconds left. Alistair's just honestly winning this whole fight. He's dominating the whole fight. Jairzinho couldn't do anything. 4 seconds left. Jairzinho just throws a friggin' hook from hell and he blew Alistair's lip off of his face. For those of you who didn't see it, here it is. It's disgusting. It's friggin' gross. You got to feel for Alistair on this because he was winning up until that point, and he just gets his lip blown off. But like we said, Jairzinho's got that power. He's the real deal. Obviously, we saw some weaknesses in his game. His clinch game wasn't that good. His ground game wasn't that good. He's calling out Francis like an absolute savage, so got to respect that. But overall, UFC DC definitely didn't disappoint. I know we sunk up before this, guys. Definitely a great card. You obviously love seeing the big boys in the main event spot. So great card overall, UFC DC. But let's get into the big boy, guys. Let's get into this weekend's festivities, UFC 245. We got 3 title fights, right? We got Amanda Nunes versus Germaine de Randamie, right, for the women's bantamweight title. So Amanda Nunes putting up her 135 title on the line. Then we got Max Holloway taking on the Australian Alexander Volkanovski, right? Awesome fight in the co-main event. And then we all know the bad-blooded rivalry, the heated rivalry in the main event. We have a welterweight, for the welterweight strap, we have Kamaru Usman versus Colby Chaos Covington. Let's just get right into it, guys. So, but we got a couple other great fights on here, just starting off with the prelim card. Headlining the prelim card, we have Jeff Neal versus Mike Perry, which, in my opinion, that's fight of the night because these 2 guys are savages. Mike Perry does not give up. You're not knocking out Mike Perry. And Jeff Neal has the knockout power to knock out Mike Perry. So let's just start off with that one, guys. What do you guys think about that one?
Yeah, I forget what was Jeff Neal's last fight, because I remember he looked wicked impressive in it with his Muay Thai and all that.
So he knocked out Nico Price.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's been looking real tough, and Mike Perry's just coming off of the Luque fight. He got his nose smashed up pretty good, so he'll be looking for a win. So I don't know. It's a fun fight. Jeff Neal's got good stand up. Mike Perry's got a ton of knockouts on his record. So I think it's just gonna be a standing battle the entire time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Now, thinking back to his nose, I don't think your nose can ever recover from that.
Oh no, yeah, not at all. The thing was like completely mushed into his face. It was disgusting. I think. What do you think was worse, that or Overeem's lip from last week?
Ooh.
Overeem's lip looked like a gunshot.
The thing with Overeem's lip, right? It was like you could see his teeth. Like it was absolutely disgusting. And I don't know if you guys saw the picture, but the one where he was like smiling, like he looked like an absolute sick bastard. Yeah. I think with the nose, I mean, your nose isn't supposed to look like that. And you obviously cannot breathe. It's like Zach said, your nose is never going to be the same. But looks-wise, I mean, Ulster's lip was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Dude, it reminded me of Robbie Lawler, the Rory McDonald Robbie Lawler fight when Lawler's lip is like flapping around, but dude, the Overeem one is so much worse. I think the nose is worse because the recovery on the nose is going to be way longer than someone stitching your lip like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's because you're breathing through your nose. You're supposed to be trying to breathe through your nose for a lot of the time when you're in the fight. So if that messes you up for future fights, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Overeem. The thing with Overeem's, his was like wicked jagged. Like,
oh God.
With Robbie Lawler's, at least
like a clean break.
Straight. Yeah, it looked
cut.
Yeah, it looked like a clean cut. It was straight. His was just all jagged. It looked like Jairzinho just ripped it off his face.
So from the reports, I guess he got plastic surgery. They stitched that thing up, but they obviously had to do plastic surgery. I mean, he's going to have a mean-ass scar on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, that's why heavyweight fighting is awesome, man. So good for friggin' Jairzinho. But kind of going back to Mike Perry, the dude is tough as friggin' nails.
Who are you picking for that fight, Tom?
What'd you say?
Who are you picking for that
fight? Listen, I love Mike Perry. I think Jeff Neal possesses like better power, better technique, to be completely honest. Yeah. But I also think it's going to be a 3-round war. And I think, I don't know, because I love Mike Perry. But
he's a tough bastard, huh?
He's tough, man. He doesn't give up. But I think Jeff Neal technical-wise, is a lot better than Mike Perry. And that's what worries me about Perry is sometimes he gets a little too crazy and he lets those weaknesses show a lot. Just like in the Luque fight where he's kind of getting teed up on. And obviously we know how much of a savage Luque is, so he kind of capitalized on that. So we'll see. I don't know. What about you guys? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I got Jeff Neal too, but yeah, sometimes with like technicians, people that come in with like a brawling style, it throws them off. So that could be the case here, but I think, you know, Jeff Neal, he looked so sharp in his last fight. I think he's really progressing. So I think I got him for this one, but you know, if he does go into later rounds and, you know, Perry's wearing him down and he's got the knockout power, I don't know. It could be anyone's fight, but I think I got Jeff Neal for this one.
Yeah, this is a toss-up. Zach, what about you?
I'll probably go with your guys' pick. I mean, Nico Price is no joke, and he lit him up, so.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's, to me, I don't know what you guys think, but I'm thinking this could be fight of the night contender right here on the prelims. So, and it's crazy to even say that we're talking about the prelims right now, because let's just head right to the main card, because the main card is absolutely stacked. Let's start off with the opening fight here, which we have Peter Yan versus the California kid, the 97-year-old Uriah Faber, coming back to fight Peter Yan, who's an absolute savage. This fight's interesting because I feel like it has a lot of implications, right? It's like whoever wins this is, you know, I think going to be one of the one next in line for, you know, to face Henry Cejudo here. And, you know, Peter Yan's been on a little bit of a streak. Uriah Faber coming off a surprising knockout win over Ricky Simone, who Rob Font just fought at UFCDC. So it's like, this is a lot of implications here. So what do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, Uriah's coming back. In his comeback fight, it was over so soon that you don't know if it. I wouldn't call it luck because obviously you're trying to finish the fight no matter what. But I don't know. I'd like to see like him go past the first round, see if he still has the conditioning, still has the technique, and yeah, Jan's a tough fighter. He's got a bunch of good wins on his record too, so it's a good test for the two of them.
Jan's got hands. He is lightning quick, dude. He can knock out anyone in that division. He's someone I've been impressed with since day one, since him coming up. Like he's done a lot of things. Obviously, can't knock Faber for what he's done, right? Faber's beaten everyone, right? But again, he's kind of that guy that in the tough moments, he just can't quite win, right? So this is another big moment for him on the biggest stage of the year with all the eyes watching him. So we'll see how he does. But Zach, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, no, I'm surprised that we're even talking about Uriah Faber and like potential title contention. It's kind of I can definitely see how Peter Yan would be in there. I'm gonna pick him just because he's been active. He's on a nice streak. He beat Jimmy Rivera and John Dodson. So I would pick him over Uriah Faber just because, like you mentioned, Uriah Faber, this could potentially be a title eliminator, and Uriah Faber is always like choked on the last step. I mean, say choked, but he's fighting the best guys in the world. But granted that because he retired and now he's back, I'm gonna go with Yan on this.
Yeah, Kev, I'm assuming you're going with Yan.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the up and comer versus the vet on this one.
Yeah, let's make that 3-0 for Yan. Faber, we love you. You're still a beast.
Imagine if Faber guillotines him though. Everybody would be all over him. Be so, and they'd say, "Oh, now he's got to fight Cejudo." Like I feel like the UFC almost wants Faber to get the win just so they can make that match. You know.
I mean, yeah,
so
that's the
another
thing.
alpha male gym fighter.
Right.
You know,
another team alpha male fighting for the title, and that kind of brings up our next fight, right? Which is between Marlon Moraes and Jose Aldo, right? Fighting at bantamweight. And, Marlon Moraes obviously just fought Cejudo, for that belt. So it's like I look at the Moraes-Aldo fight and I say, the winner of that, a lot of people picking Moraes, but that's why I don't think Moraes, if he wins this, gets another shot at Cejudo. That's why I think you're right, Zach. I think they really do want, the winner of the Faber-Peter Yan fight to get that next shot. Moraes already had his shot, right? And then just to kind of go off that, Moraes, Jose Aldo coming down to 135. Guys, I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures of him, apparently in training camp. He looks terrible. He looks like he's being held up in all of his pictures. He looks unhealthy. Obviously, I'm not going to judge him, but do you guys even think he's going to make this weight come next Saturday? Because from the pictures, it looks like he's on his friggin' deathbed.
Yeah, he definitely didn't look healthy in some of those photos. I think he is going to make the weight, though. I mean, he's looking pretty lean. He's looking pretty ripped up. It's just, but how is he going to recover after a weight cut like that? And can you perform the next day? That would be my big question with that. I mean, he's been looking good in the 145 division. He beat Stevens with that punch to the gut.
And Moicano.
Yeah, Moicano. Yeah. And he lost a decision to Volkanovski. But I don't know. Overall, I mean, he looks kind of like the old Jose Aldo. But at 135, that's just another question. How does that weight cut play in?
And I'll be honest, this is probably one of the fights that I'm most excited for on the card. I was reading the interview. I forgot who the guy at MMA Fighting he translates he interviews all the Brazilians. But I was reading the long form interview he did with Aldo, and Aldo was saying that he's already like beneath 155 this far out, and that he says and he feels good and he feels strong and the training's been fine. Maybe he could just be saying that. I mean, I've seen the pictures too. It's his face that looks a little like a sallow cheek and stuff. That's the only his face definitely doesn't look great, but based on the interview, if he's already at 155 now, I mean, I don't know if he'll have a huge problem cutting the weight. The interview was like a week and a half ago or something, so we'll see. I think it's going to be a great fight, though. I'm excited because I think both of them have great striking, and I think it's going to be a firefight. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope Jose goes back to his leg kicks like he used to do.
Oh yeah.
He seems like he's kind of gotten away from that a little bit.
I think he's broken his foot a couple times, right? That might be why.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Freaking baseball bat, that thing. The thing I'm most excited about, right, about these two Brazilians, right? So they're just gonna friggin' go at it. And Moraes was on a tear before that Cejudo fight. He was friggin' knocking everyone out. He was submitting everyone. He's got the power at 135, and I think he's friggin' shredded, that guy, right? He even said he looks up to Jose Aldo, but he wants to take him out. Everyone wants to take out the legend Jose Aldo, right? But I agree with Kev on this one. I think if Jose can utilize those, I think some of the best leg kicks in UFC history, right? He's able to neutralize Marlon, slow him down, just like Cejudo did, right? Cejudo is a smaller guy for that friggin' weight class, and he was able to stabilize, I think Moraes definitely got tired in the Cejudo fight too. But when you're going up against a guy like Jose Aldo, so legendary, who has beaten everyone, he was once unbeaten for 10 years, right? Obviously, think about the guys that have beat him, right? You got McGregor, after 10 years of not losing. You got Max Holloway, who's probably going to go down. It's kind of a toss-up between Aldo and Holloway for who's the best featherweight of all time, right? He lost to Holloway twice. And Volkanovski, who's just an absolute savage. So Aldo, he doesn't really lose. So it's like you need to come in there with the mindset like, this guy's going to rip my head off. I need to do everything I can to not let that happen. And Moraes, I think, has that kind of mentality. He's tough. I think Moraes is actually the favorite in this fight, which is crazy. I don't remember the last time Aldo wasn't a favorite in a fight. So that one's going to be huge. Like I said, the Brazilian fans are going to be going friggin' nuts for this. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm going Aldo on this one. I'm going Aldo.
Dude, it's crazy. He's only 33 years old, but you think he's so old.
Yeah, I know.
Started so
He's been
young.
fighting forever, man.
He went on such a streak of him not losing. But the thing with him is, during that 10-year span, he wasn't that active. You know what I mean? He was getting hurt. He was pulling out. Yeah. So, I mean, he's still, like you said, 33 years old. He's still young. But you know what? I think I'm hoping he makes this weight. I'm hoping he rehydrates nice on Friday night. I'm taking Jose by knockout. Fuck it. I'm doing it.
By knockout?
Yup.
No, I'm going with Aldo too. I think we'll probably go to a decision. This is 3-round fight. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, but it's another toss-up. I mean, I think every fight on this card is like you can make a case for either fighter. It's not one-sided at all. But I'm going with Aldo.
Zach, what do we got?
I definitely want to say Aldo too, but I'm worried about the weight, like how he'll do off of cutting the weight, because I think that endurance is going to be a huge thing. Because Moraes is pretty nonstop. I mean, I was so impressed with Cejudo's win over Moraes, because Moraes was a man on fire.
Yep.
And so if we see that same Moraes come out, it's gonna be a really, really close fight. And I think if Aldo doesn't have that extra, because he's had cardio issues in the past. Granted, this is a 3-round fight, but if the weight cut really affects him hard, I think that Moraes could just take it away just in volume. So I'm gonna go Moraes unanimous decision maybe. That's what I'm gonna pick.
Right. No, that was actually great analysis on that. I mean, both of these guys, obviously, Moraes has the power to put anyone's lights out in that division, right? He's a big boy for that division. Although he can put your lights out, but like you said, the biggest question going into Saturday, how's the weight cut going to affect him? So definitely tune into this one, everyone, because this one's going to be a barn burner. And then we get into the fun stuff, boys. We got 3 straight 5-round title fights, starting off with the women's GOAT, the greatest of all time, Amanda Nunes, taking on Germaine de Randamie, which this will also be a rematch. They fought years ago. Amanda got the better of her in that one. Guys, this one's a tricky one, right? I look at Amanda. I think Amanda is untouchable. I think she's the greatest of all time. I think she has cleared out 2 divisions. I don't think after this fight she has anyone else to fight other than Valentina Shevchenko, right? And that's a trilogy. So the way I look at this is GDR, had the belt. She won the belt. She's very good. The UFC stripped her because she refused to fight Cyborg because, the whole cyborg steroid talk. So she looked, kind of weak, which the UFC saw that. They immediately stripped her, right? So she didn't lose the belt, that's what makes this matchup interesting. So she's hungry to get back in there. She's fought Amanda once, both when they were, on their younger sides, right? This is going to be a hell of a fight, I think. And I think it's obviously Amanda's coming as the favorite. Amanda is looking to rip her head off. She wants to add another name to her collection. What do you guys think about this one? Because this one's interesting. This isn't like I don't think Amanda's just going to steamroll her in the first, to be completely honest. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, guys.
Nunez just looks better and better in every fight that I watch. And I think she's like still on that path. Like, I don't know. I'm looking at her record right now. Like, she's got some incredible wins. Like, just in her last 3 fights, what she did to Pennington, that whole fight, like, she pretty much made her quit. Like, she just totally took her will. So that was an impressive win. She did that 5 rounds straight. Then she knocked out Cyborg, which was crazy.
Oh,
that was so insane.
Yeah.
And then she knocks out Holly Holm, which I was a little less than. I mean, it was an impressive victory, but like I don't think that was the best Holly Holm to come out there. She looked like really tentative and like kind of like tippy-toed. And
that was a head kick, right? That she finished her with?
Yeah.
He Holly Holmed Holly Holm with a fucking head kick. Like, it was unreal.
And she got wins over Ronda Rousey, knocks her out in the first round.
Valentina twice.
Yeah, she beats Valentina twice, which some of those could be
controversial.
Yeah, could go either way. And she beats Miesha Tate by submission. She's finishing fights, and I don't know, she's dangerous. So I have a hard time going against her in any type of matchup. So I've got her for this one.
Zach, what do you think?
I've never really been super impressed with de Randamie. She had that contentious decision over Holly Holm and there was a lot of blows after the bell. And then you go to her last fight with that, that knockout of Aspen Ladd, but it was kind of early. And then the time when she's been stripped of the belt. So I've never been super impressed with her. And based on everything we've seen from Amanda Nunes, she's been more than impressive. So I think she's the safest pick of the night.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
To pick Nunes for sure.
Yeah, you can't. It's tough to bet against Nunes, just how dominant she's been.
After that Cyborg fight, I'll never bet against her again.
I mean, I've always had faith in her. I just think like the way she hits, like after watching the Rousey fight, I know Rousey came off of a layoff, whatever, but what she did to Rousey and like just taking her soul like that in front of when the UFC, I mean, I know you guys remember this fight, right? The whole build up to this fight was Rousey's coming back. Rousey's going to win the belt. Like all of this. No one talked about Amanda Nunes, how much of a beast she is. And like, she's got hands. Like, and then I think that's when she proved to the world that she's like the real deal, right? Then she got rolled off against Cyborg. Massive underdog against Cyborg. Starches her in the first round.
Yeah, it goes
wild.
Literally one of the best knockouts in history. The only time I've ever seen, I don't know if you guys saw the clips of like Joe Rogan like celebrating to that. They were going nuts for her, like legit animated, like it was insane. But when I look at this fight, is it me or do you want to see a fight? Like, I love that she's knocking everyone out in the first round. Like, she's legit the Mike Tyson of the UFC. You know what I mean?
She's like the John Jones of this, of women's, all weight classes. She's like the John Jones over on that side.
She's so good. And really what I wanted to get into, right, let's say I'm obviously picking her, right? I don't think it's going to be a first-round knockout. I think it's going to be a second-round knockout. I'm going to be a little subtle here. Second-round knockout, right? But don't overlook JDR. I think she's good. Her striking's really good. And like I said, she didn't lose the belt. So, I mean, she's going to have a chip on her shoulder coming into this one. But after this fight, Amanda starches her in the first and the second, whatever you guys predict, right? Where does she go next? Does she even have anything to prove? Does she need that third Valentina fight to prove that she's literally a god, she's untouchable? Like, what do you think happens next?
I don't know, because, I think that fight would like the people that like are really into MMA and UFC, like they would want to watch the Nunes Shevchenko fight, but I think most people that are kind of like casual fans are gonna see, oh, she's already got 2 losses to her, and now they're gonna give her a third fight. I think it probably won't get a whole lot of views, but there's really no one else though. It really doesn't make any sense for her to fight anybody else.
I mean, the names you just read off. I mean, Miesha Tate, legend. Ronda Rousey, legend. Cyborg, legend. Holly Holm, it's not like, you take a look at like someone like a Cejudo who's in the GOAT conversation. Cejudo really fought these unknown 125ers. Fight him next. Yeah, he might as well. Am I crazy to think that, like, why not put her in there with someone like a 135? Like, she's that – I know, Joe Rogan said the whole thing with Ronda, how she could beat up a guy. But, like, I legit think Amanda Nunes could legit fight a guy and win.
They should do, like a gladiator thing, like put her in there with, like CM Punk or something.
With CM Punk, I mean, that's different from – I mean, if she fought Cejudo would beat the hell out of her. There's no question. But, I mean, CM Punk, I don't know.
Oh, man, poor CM Punk, dude. Poor CM Punk.
Bring in, like, one of, like, the wicked old fighters from, like, the early days and just bring them in. Bring in, like, Chris Lieben or something like that.
God, freaking Chris Lieben. Dude, actually, I would love to see her in bare knuckle, dude. I think she'd kick ass in bare knuckle. Yeah. She would be a friggin' beast. So I'm guessing it's 3-0 Nunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would pick Nunes, yeah.
3-0 Nunes.
What an upset if she loses, man. She's got to be a serious favorite for this fight.
Yeah, I got to look up the odds on this, but yeah, she's been an underdog in like all her fights. She deserves to be a heavy favorite in this. And I mean, with her, she's got so much riding. Every single fight she has, like, she's already the GOAT. Listen, but it's that legacy. She's got to keep building that. Because I mean, I don't even think there's a girl right now that's close to being underneath her, taking out the legend she did. So, Amanda, we're rooting for you. Let's get another KO. Let's just not do it in the first minute like you usually do. Let's make this a fun fight, right? Cool. Moving on. We have featherweight title fight, 5 rounds with our boy. Everyone loves him. One of the most liked fighters in the UFC. One of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. Max Blessed Holloway taking on the up-and-comer Alexander Volkanovski, right? Guys, this is going to be a great fight. We all know Max. Max basically at 145 is untouchable. He tested the waters at 155 against Poirier. It didn't go his way. Alexander Volkanovski, this guy's a beast. He's on a 17-fight win streak. He just took out the likes of a legend, Jose Aldo, who we just talked about. This guy is interesting because I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of him. When this guy used to play rugby, he used to be 240 pounds. So this guy is built like a heavyweight, fighting at featherweight, which I think makes it interesting because, I mean, he's got heavy hands. We saw it against friggin' Aldo. We saw him knock out Chad Mendes, right? The dude's good. I think he came up very fast, and going up against a guy like Max Holloway who doesn't lose at 145, it's a tough fight. What do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, Holloway's another one that I can never get myself to bet against.
Yeah.
He's just so good on his feet everywhere. Actually, he's looked good in all of his fights, and even like the Poirier fight where he lost and he went up in weight. I still think he looked pretty good. He brought the fight the entire time. Like, he didn't back down. He was over in his corner yelling over it right before the 5th round. So
He won rounds in that fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't a blowout.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think too, another thing that he has going for him, he's taller than a lot of the guys that he fights at the 145 division.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a pretty good advantage for him. I think that works well with his, his style. He keeps people at range. And, yeah, he's just tough, and I can't bet against him. So I got him in this one.
What do you guys think about Volkanovski? You guys, I know we watched him a little bit, right? We saw him in the Aldo fight, saw him in the Mendes fight. What do you guys think of him? What do you think his chances are against a guy like Max?
I mean, I've been impressed with his run, especially the Mendes fight.
Oh yeah.
And it's no small feat to beat Jose Aldo. So I agree with Kevin that Holloway is hard to pick against. I mean, he's so great in the feet. He's got all the feints, and I've always been extremely impressed by him. So I would definitely pick Holloway, but I don't think it's going to be like an absolute beatdown or anything like that.
Yeah, this one's interesting because I think, in terms of skill wise, right? I look at Holloway the same I look at Nunes, right? He's taking out everyone. He's clearing out a division where we're starting to think all right, after Volkanovski, who else is there for Max, right? And I look at Max as someone who he's struggled to make 145. He's made it every time, don't get me wrong, but he looks like, Conor McGregor, where he's just skin and bones. It's definitely not healthy. But then I think, should he move up, fight 155, right? We saw how he looked in 155. He still won rounds against Poirier, but it's you could tell that there was such a power difference between Poirier and Holloway. And it's I don't know how much longer he can stay at 145. I know he's a professional. He always makes weight. He's disciplined, but I don't know, where do you guys see him go? Say he beats Volkanovski here. He continues down 145. I know he's expressed interest in 155. Where do you guys think he should go next?
I don't know. I'm going to pull up the rankings and see who else is there.
It's just he's clearing out the division. At this point, it's who's next for him,
Actually, Zabit maybe.
Zabit, yeah?
Possibly. I think that's the only one, because if he beats Volkanovski, then he's beaten top 3 rank. Zabit's number 4.
Got Rodriguez in there too, right?
Yeah,
he's in there.
He's number 6, and Frankie Edgar. So maybe one of those 3.
Yeah, I think what I would think should happen is I think Yair and Zabit just need to fight because they're so similar. That just needs to happen. And then I agree with you. I think the winner takes on Max or whoever wins the belt on Saturday, right? I think all 3 of us are kind of saying Max here.
Volkanovski kind of reminds me, in terms of his build, of Frankie Edgar. I mean, I think he might be a little bit bigger than Frankie, but Holloway handled Frankie really well. So I think it might be a similar matchup for him versus Volkanovski. I mean, I think Volkanovski's got more power, and maybe he doesn't go for the takedowns as much, but I think it's going to be, in terms of size, a similar matchup to that.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point. I agree. I just see this fight being Max using his range so well. Like Kevin said, he's so tall for this division, right? He's going to use his jab so well, use his range. I think he's going to stay away from Volkanovski because I think his biggest downfall is Volkanovski getting in there, getting the takedown, using that friggin' once was 240 pounds on top of Max, right? But at the end of the day, we all know that Max literally gets stronger as the fight goes on. It's insane.
Yeah.
The body shots and pressure he puts on guys, it just saps their cardio and their will to fight.
Oh my God, that Ortega fight to me is still one of the greatest performances ever that I've ever seen in the octagon. The way he pieced up Ortega, the way he he defended every takedown Ortega shot in on him. That's a guy who was undefeated, who was dangerous, who everyone thought was going to take out Max. And Max just continues to just prove people wrong. It is what it is. He just one after another. So
he just blasts people in the body and just saps their will. It's great.
Yeah.
He's not just like a headhunter. I like it.
He's so technical. He's his boxing is so crisp, and his toughness is ridiculous. I mean, think about before the Poirier fight. The last time he lost was to friggin' Conor McGregor when he was 20 years old. Look at him now. He's cleared out a whole division. He's going to defend the title the most times ever one day. I really don't see anyone beating him anytime soon. So the Blessed, he's awesome. I'm super excited to see this matchup. Hopefully we can get another. I want to see a 5-round war. Love Max in 5-round wars because he comes out in the 5th round and he's not even taking a deep breath. Like, he's got that Tony Ferguson cardio, just doesn't get tired. Seriously. But cool. We got 3-0 guys for Max. Cool.
Yep.
And then moving on to the main event. This one, it's been criticized for a while for, it might be boring, right? But the story sells. These guys hate each other. We've got Kamaru Usman, welterweight champion of the world, taking on Colby Chaos Covington, MAGA's finest, Trump's favorite fighter, right? This one's interesting because I read like a stat today that these guys literally, like, they have the same record, right? They're both the exact same style. They're both on the same exact like win streak. It's like the person that Colby lost to, Kamaru beat, and the person that Kamaru lost to, Colby beat. They both fought Damian Maia. They both fought RDA. Like, their paths are so similar that this fight had to happen, whether it was with the belt or not. I'm so excited it's happening for the belt. Obviously, just to kind of recap their last 2 fights, Kamaru Usman won the belt from Tyron Woodley with an absolute, again, I'm going to say this one too, probably one of the best performances I've ever seen, taking out a guy like Tyron Woodley, who was on his way. Probably if he beat Usman, would have been known as the greatest welterweight to ever step foot on the planet. But he shut that down. He was ragdolling Woodley. And Woodley everyone knows what Woodley looks like. He's freaking 2% body fat. He's an absolute house. He's got bricks for hands. And Usman made it look easy. Easily one of the best performances I've seen inside the octagon. And then we had Colby Chaos Covington really just putting on a clinic against Robbie Lawler a couple months ago, which you look at these two guys' style, right? Yeah, it's a lot of wrestling. It's a lot of clinching. It's a lot of but these guys don't stop. Colby, I think, broke the striking record in the Robbie Lawler fight. He didn't stop. So these guys are literally the same fighter. They both have gas tanks for days. So what do you guys think about this fight as a whole? What do you think about the matchup?
Yeah, like you said, they both got similar styles. They both, rely on their wrestling more than anything else. And, going into the Woodley fight, everybody thought that Woodley's striking was going to be the difference, and he was going to be able to, counteract Usman's wrestling, because Woodley also had great wrestling. But Usman was able to take him down pretty much at will. It was the complete opposite of how I thought that fight was going to go. So it's really impressive. And, Covington's a wrestler. Mm-hmm. So people are saying, again, they think that the wrestling's going to be like a non-factor because they're both going to counteract each other. But I don't know. I think Usman will probably be able to take him down and get some ground and pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Usman is going to smother him against the fence. It might not be, he might not get him down and hold him down, but I think similar to what he did to Woodley, is going to smother him against the fence, and maybe Covington has sharper hands, but I just think that Usman's going to power him to the fence and just smother him. I'm worried this fight's not going to be super entertaining, because I just envision it as Usman, like exactly what he did to Woodley, but
yeah.
We'll see. I mean, if you can walk, I don't think that I've read comments of people saying that Usman will knock Colby out and stuff like that, and I feel like if Covington walked through all of what Robbie Lawler did, and was fine, I don't see Usman knocking him out, but I really think that he's going to smother him against the fence, and it's going to be a boring fight. I hope it's not. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. That's just how I see it going.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys look at, both of these guys' records, they are the farthest thing from knockout artists. Like, it's insane. They're the decisionators, right? I look at this fight and I could see it going one of two ways. It being a clinch fest for 5 rounds. And then I don't even know who's going to win. I think if going off pure strength, I think Usman wins in that category. I think, like you said, Zach, I think Usman's going to be able to control Colby a lot. But at the same time, it's like, I couldn't tell you whose wrestling is better.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they do the same thing in every fight. So it's tough to see. I think striking-wise, I think Colby might have the edge just because that Lawler fight, I saw what Colby did to Lawler, and no one does that to Robbie Lawler, right? So I was impressed by that. Colby, his whole gimmick, whatever. Aside from that, the guy can fight. His strikes look cleaned in his last fight. Usman's more of that guy where it's like, I feel like it's like that Khabib-esque where he just friggin' smothers you. He just mauls you, right? Yeah. And I think his striking, it's not the best. I think it's a little bit sloppy. So Colby might have him on there. I just think it's going to come down to strength. I think it's going to be, like you said, Kamaru's going to be able to control this fight. I think he's going to be able to take him down. But then, I don't know. I don't see a knockout in this. I just see it being a lot of clinching, a lot of scrambles. I don't know. What do you guys think, like, the reality of this fight's going to be, Yeah,
I don't think there's going to be a finish. It's going to go to a decision. And the difference is going to be, either Colby's, punch output on the feet, meaning he's going to, outscore him on the cards that way, or Usman's going to be getting the takedowns and controlling. Mm-hmm. And that will be a factor on that side. So it could go either way.
I mean, even if he doesn't take, like I said, even if he doesn't take Covington down, I still think he's going to push him up against the fence, and it's going to be, Dom, would you say clinch fest, Dom? Is that what you said? I have a feeling that's what it's going to be.
I'm afraid. And listen, I get why this is the main event. Don't get me wrong. The story behind it. But how do you not look at Max Holloway and say, this guy needs to be the main event? He's going to bring it. That there's going to be all aspects to the game in his fight, or even Nunes. You're going to get an exciting knockout. I question why this was the main event. I get
because all the back and forth between the guys before, right? I think that's probably what the UFC is trying to sell it on.
I get it. It's just the whole, like, what fans want to see blood. Fans want to see two guys or two girls going at and knocking each other's heads off. With Colby and Usman, it's literally going to be like, I feel like it's just an ego thing. Like, whose wrestling is better? Like, that's how I feel like this fight's going to be. Even if you watch, like, the embedded or the countdown, right? It was more like Kamaru's like, Colby's jealous that I'm a better wrestler than him, and I've been wrestling in a less time than him. Like, stuff like that. I feel like that's the mentality, is they want to show each other, like, who can take each other down first or whatever. Like, and that's what I'm worried about this fight, when it could have been perfectly fine as the co-main event and put Max or Nunes up there, because that's going to either be 5 rounds of excitement for Max, because that's what Max does, or it's going to be a vicious KO or head kick by friggin' Nunes, rather than this fight. But hey, who knows? These guys might not even take each other down. These guys might just friggin' go at it in the center of the ring and knock each other out. I don't know.
I hope so. I think that'd be nice.
Which then brings me to my next question, right? The winner of this fight, I've been hearing a lot of things, right? Conor wants to take on Jorge. That's why he's taking the next fight at 170. I know Jorge deserves the next 170-pound title shot, right? So whether it's Kamaru or Colby wins, who do they fight next if Jorge doesn't want to fight him, which he says he doesn't want to. He thinks they're boring. He thinks whatever. I don't know. What do you guys think about what's next for Kamaru or Colby, whoever wins that one?
So the 2 contenders I would think would either be Woodley, because you kind of have a storyline if Covington wins there, but if Usman wins, it would just be a rematch. So I think you could sell that either way. Or
dude, Wonder Boy, man, I think that'd be.
Oh, I love that.
He just beat the hell out of Luque. I think that matching up one of because Wonder Boy manages distance really well. I think that if he can, like, he almost never gets backed up into the cage. I mean, besides the Woodley fights, right? So I would like to see him fight one of these guys that are like heavy pressure. I mean, Usman and Covington both like the super heavy pressure. Yeah. I think that'd be a good matchup, right?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I feel like he's kind of forgotten, because the other person that I was going to say, and I totally forgot about Wonder Boy, was Leon Edwards.
Leon, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man, that's true. That's good. I forgot about him.
Yeah, do you think the UFC makes Woodley fight Leon? Because I feel like that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that'd be a good matchup too.
Yeah, I think it's like so tough to get Woodley to fight people though, because he's got such a bad relationship with Dana and the UFC, and I don't know. Like I heard on one of his videos saying that he wasn't really interested in fighting Leon.
Yeah.
So if he's not going to do that, then I don't know if he's guaranteed, a title shot, because he's got, you got Jorge, Leon, who's looking pretty good, and Wonder Boy, who was right there just, a year ago or a year and a half ago, whatever it was, when he fought Woodley last. He was right there, and he's got that one loss to Pettis where he was winning that fight up to the point where he ended up getting knocked
Superman
out.
punch. Yeah.
Superman
Yeah. But he's looked good in his last fight, so I think he's right back there too.
Yeah. Who do I think deserves it? Leon Edwards. He's been on a streak. I think he's on an 8 or 9 fight win streak. Obviously, on a streak like that, you deserve it, unless your name's Tony Ferguson, who, they just want to wait 10 years to give him a title shot, right?
Yeah.
But who do I want to see fight? I love Wonder Boy. He's like the most respectful fighter on the planet, and he's good. If he didn't lose that Pettis fight, his name's in the conversation. I think that was just a lucky whatever. We won't go into that, but Wonder Boy, Woodley, Leon, and then Jorge. Obviously, I think Jorge is the one that deserves it the most, I'd say, before Leon, just because Leon already got 3-piece in a soda by Jorge. You know what I mean? But Jorge seems like he wants no part of Colby or Kamaru. I think he put out something today. He did an interview where he said, I got 3 years left, and then I'm going to retire. But for those 3 years, I need the biggest fights within those. So you got to think he's gunning for Conor. He's probably gunning for Nick Diaz, and he's probably gunning for, one more fight, right? He's probably not a guy that's going to be active anymore. It's probably going to be once a year, right? So I'm curious to see, because welterweight, Kamaru came out and he was like, welterweight's the most exciting, the most stacked division. And dude, other than lightweight, I think welterweight's up there, right? Obviously with Kamaru, with Colby, with Tyron, Leon, Jorge, with Nate there, now with Conor there, right? So many different matchups they can make at welterweight. So super excited for that. But guys, any last thoughts on the main event here? I think are we going? I hate to say this right now. I hate to say it. I'm going Colby by decision. I hate it.
Who you got?
I don't know. I'm like still thinking, because like I see the fight going, one of two ways, where Usman just kind of hugs him, keeps him up against the cage, kind of does some work from there, attempts a takedown, and they do that for 5 minutes for 5 rounds. But if Covington can get the fight to the middle, keep off the cage, I think he could outpoint him just striking. I think he can put a pretty good pace on him. But to be able to do that, he has to stay away from the cage, and he has to touch and move. He can't stand right in front of him, because he's just going to tie him up. So I think it's a lot more possible that Usman's just going to tie him up and put him up against the cage and try to take him down and just work the cage the whole fight. I think that's the more probable route that the fight's going to go. But if it is in Covington's favor, I think he could outstrike him. I don't think he's going to knock him out, but I think he's just going to outpoint him.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Usman.
Yeah, I agree with the more likely scenario is Usman, smother him against the cage. And the thing about the Covington trying to be on the back foot is I don't think we've ever really seen him in any of his fights, backing up, because he's always the guy, high volume, going forward. Like having such a high output that nobody else can get a strike in,
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe we'll see him on the back foot and we'll see a new part of his game. But I agree with you that the most likely outcome is Usman against the cage, smothering him. Maybe if that happens, Usman can just exhaust him and get a finish. But we'll see. I don't think there's gonna be a finish. I think it's gonna be 5 rounds and it's gonna be an Usman decision. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we see some other fireworks. So
I can't even believe I said Colby's name. I'm pissed at myself. But I don't know. I just see it, his striking being the difference maker. We'll see, man. I think it's all going to come down to cardio in this fight, which I know they both have, but let's see who gasses first. That's the way I look at it. And then just with it's going to be interesting because if Colby loses this fight, his whole gimmick with the MAGA and, his whole shit. Yeah, where does he go from there? Especially if he loses this, I feel like his whole aura, it kind of just diminishes. But if he wins, oh my God, it's going to be, President Trump's going to be friggin' walking him down to the octagon. His next fight, he's going to be working in the freaking Oval Office. You know what I mean? And then just like Kamaru, I think Kamaru's definitely a true, mixed martial artist, very respectful. I think Colby's kind of bringing out the worst in him. You can kind of see a different side of Kamaru, you know what I mean? I feel like in the Woodley fight, they were pretty respectful to each other, Kamaru and Woodley. So I don't know, man. And again, you got to look at, does Colby get in Usman's head? Does he do something stupid?
That's a good point because you see some fighters where they just completely ditch their game plan and they just try to inflict the most amount of damage possible, even though it's, not their best option to do that. So he could come out and just try to knock him out and then, just kind of really fall into his trap. And I think Covington wins the striking exchanges.
Yeah.
Usman's got more power, but I don't think he's that crisp with his striking where he's going to catch him clean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kind of forgot about that. The whole trash talk to build up to this, calling him Marty Fake Newsman, accusing him of taking EPOs, right? That's stuff that some fighters legit can't take to heart, and it's just it enrages them. We started in the Aldo fight with McGregor. He ran at McGregor, the stupidest thing you could ever do. You've seen it in the Cody Garbrandt fights with TJ. He just doing the same strike 3 times in a row and he gets knocked out.
Yeah.
We'll see. It seems like Kamaru's not affected, but we're not going to find out until that bell rings. So this is going to be an interesting fight. I can't promise you guys who are new to this channel that this is going to be the most exciting fight. We all just said it. But it will be, I feel entertaining at least. I think watch the press conferences this week. Watch all the interviews. It's going to be, Colby kind of putting on a show, making fun of, Kamaru, all that stuff. But cool. I think that's all we had, guys, right?
Actually, Matt Brown, Ben Saunders. I just looked on the fight card. That might be a good fight, man. I feel like they're both up there in age, and in terms of fight age, they both had a ton of fights. But that might be a banger. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think someone's just going to get knocked out in that fight. I love Matt Brown. I think he's an absolute savage. He's got those friggin' elbows. And then Ben Saunders, he's another beast. I know those guys are kind of on the tail end of their careers, but no, I'm glad you brought that one up because that one's going to be definitely exciting. Those guys both don't have anything to lose, so I think they're just going to go to the center of the octagon and just start swinging. That's
sick.
That's going to be
bleed.
Yeah, and when we got other fights like Ian Heinz, Sean there, what do we got at the early prelims? We got some up and comers. We got Brendan Moreno, Kai Kara France. We got Chase Hooper from Dana White Contender Series with Daniel Tamer. So overall, and then we got friggin' Jessica I, who friggin' just fought for a title. Now she's on the early prelims, which is insane.
Well, did she just fight Shevchenko? Was that her?
She's the one that just got her head friggin' knocked off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to take a full year off. Something like that happens. Have you ever heard the actual audio of that kick?
Oh, it's absolutely
frightening.
frightening.
Like a baseball bat. It's horrifying.
Yeah, so she fought June 8th. She got head kicked through hell, and now she's fighting again on December 14th.
Yeah, I feel like you have to take a full year.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
Actually, did you guys hear about Frankie Edgar replacing Ortega to fight Korean Zombie?
Yep.
Yes, he's a savage. Also, Frankie Edgar is supposed to be fighting Corey Sandhagen in January. So his plan, what he says, is he's going to fight Korean Zombie on December 21st, and then he's going to fight Corey Sandhagen on, let me just look up the date.
At bantamweight, which is a lower weight class than his normal featherweight, right?
So he's supposed to fight Corey Sandhagen on January 25th. So literally a month later, he's going to fight Corey Sandhagen, who's on an absolute tear right now. But first he has to get through, the friggin' killer Korean Zombie, who legit kills people, puts people to sleep. I know Sandhagen's pissed about this one. This just shows like Frankie's toughness, but I also think this is Frankie's downfall because Frankie has a chance to beat Sandhagen and be in the conversation for a bantamweight title fight. But now he's risking it again, just like he did with Ortega, and he lost his chance of the title. I know that Frankie ended up getting that title shot back, and we all know what happened there, but I think this is Frankie's biggest weakness is he tries to like be the hero, which everyone already knows he's a savage. But I don't know. What'd you guys think about this one, the announcement there?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize those two fights were that close.
Insane.
Because, like, man, just like 1 month out, he has to do this fight, go back into training where, he's going to have some type of, not injury, but going to have some aches and whatever that he's going to have to deal with. Then he has to go make weight, and then he has another tough opponent.
I assume they'd canceled the bantamweight fight.
It's still on right now.
Really? Okay. Wow. Good for Frankie Edgar then, man. That's some serious stuff.
I mean, dude, this fight is in South Korea. So
what if Korean Zombie knocks him the fuck out? Like bad. Like I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but if he does badly, then you can't fight a month later. It's bad. It's like what happened to Bisping. He got dropped and choked out by GSP, and then he gets knocked out because he fought so soon against Gastelum. I don't know.
Wild. Frankie's got heart, man. We all know he's just an absolute sicko. But that's a tough fight because I love Korean Zombie too, and I don't want anyone to lose in that fight. So I don't know, boys. That's going to be a friggin' tough one. I mean, if Frankie can do it, he's an absolute legend. And then he gets his friggin' bantamweight title shot, right? So that'll be great. But I think news-wise, I think that's really the biggest thing that happened. Obviously, with the whole Ortega situation, he said he tore his ACL, but it's not that bad, and he'll be back in 2020. So that's confusing. I know a lot of people giving him shit on in Twitter, Instagram, saying he pulled out, he was scared. Because I love how they still play his Modelo commercials. It was 10 years ago, Brian Ortega had a choice. He either fight for his life. I love that commercial because it was cool before he fought Max, but now that he lost and he got exposed, it's kind of shitty. But I think that's funny. But overall, UFC 245 is going to be an absolute banger. Do not miss it. Every fight's honestly so good from the prelims to the main card. It's going to be great. Obviously, UFC last pay-per-view of the year, they're going to stack that card up. Going into 2020, there's already so many great fights announced. So it's going to be great. Next week, we'll do kind of our recap on this whole thing. But other than that, did you guys have anything else?
No.
Cool. Well, guys, listen, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Just go smash the subscribe button, right? And then, listen, go follow us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, SoundCloud. Go listen to us. Sharing content every single day. We're getting better and better, bigger and bigger, right? If you need CBD, click the link below. Use the code FLATLINE10 for 10% off. Christmas is right around the corner. Listen, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, they need CBD. They're getting sore, right? I can see it. They're going to the gym. They're getting ready. New Year's resolutions coming right around the corner. Buy some CBD for your loved ones. Christmas, put in their stocking. Gronk uses it. Hey, listen, maybe Gronk will come down your friggin' chimney this year. Maybe he'll put in your stocking for you. So click the link below. Get your CBD needs. But until next time, Flatline MMA. Peace.